99%. That's how much of the world's international internet traffic doesn't fly through satellites or bounce off some cloud. It travels through glass cables lying on the bottom of the ocean. Roughly 1.5 million kilometers of them. And every single year, about 200 of those cables break. And that's the part that should scare you. The entire planet fixes those breaks with a fleet of maybe 22 dedicated repair ships. Not 200, 22, and nearly half of that fleet is old enough to retire by 2040. So the whole modern world, every payment, every message, every video you've ever streamed is riding on a few dozen aging ships and a lot of luck. So how has the internet not already snapped? To understand that, I counted down the 5 things actually holding the internet together, starting at number 5 and building to the one nobody is fixing. Number 5, the map almost nobody sees. If you pulled up every undersea cable on a globe, it'd look like the planet is wrapped in thin thread. 99% of intercontinental data rides those threads. Satellites? A rounding error. When people say the cloud, what they actually mean is a bundle of glass fibers, thinner than a garden hose, sitting in the cold and the dark on the seabed. Number 4, and this is the one that broke my brain, the internet is breaking all the time. On average, right around 200 cable faults happen every year. In 2023 alone, the industry logged over 200 repairs across more than 100 jurisdictions. One repair took 947 days. That's not a typo. Almost 3 years to fix a single cable. So who's the villain here? Spies? Sharks? Nope. Between 70 and 80% of all cable faults come from ordinary accidents. A fishing trawler dragging its net, a ship dropping anchor in the wrong spot. The internet's biggest enemy is a guy who wasn't paying attention. And you never hear about it, because before you notice, traffic quietly reroutes and a ship is already sailing out to fix it. Number 3, a playbook written in 1866. When a cable snaps 2 miles down, how do you even find it? Pretty much the same way they did 150 years ago. Brunel's giant steamship, the Great Eastern, laid a working transatlantic cable that year, then dragged a hook along the seabed to snag a lost one and splice it back together. A hook on a rope. That is still, fundamentally, how it works. Modern ships lower a grappling hook, drag the ocean floor until it catches, and haul the cable up to the deck. And that's the thing I can't shake. The internet isn't a cloud. It's a handful of glass threads on the seabed, and the entire modern world is quietly betting nobody trips over them. Every time you think the system is too big to fail, remember what fixes it: a hook on a rope. Number 2, the ships and the people on them. There are maybe 60 to 77 cable ships in the whole world, and only around 22 are built for repairs. Take the Léon Thévenin, 43 years old, a crew of up to 60. It's the only cable repair ship permanently stationed on the entire African continent, looking after 60,000 kilometers of cable, from Madagascar all the way to Ghana. And a ship like that isn't cheap, somewhere between $70,000 and $120,000 a day, just to keep it floating and ready. The crews live at sea for weeks, hauling up cable in the middle of storms, splicing hair-thin fibers by hand on a rolling deck. When the Tohoku earthquake hit Japan in 2011, one repair crew was already 20 miles offshore, mid-job, when the tsunami came for them. Which brings us to number 1, the threat nobody is actually solving, because lately the accidents haven't all been accidents. Start with what happens when a country has only one cable. In January 2022, an underwater volcano erupted near Tonga and shredded an 80-kilometer stretch of the nation's only international line. One eruption, and an entire country vanished from the internet for about 5 weeks. Then it started to look deliberate. In February 2023, 2 Chinese vessels severed both cables serving Taiwan's Matsu Islands inside a single week. 13,000 residents lost normal connectivity for 50 days. 2 cables, 6 days apart. Call it a coincidence if you want to. February 2024, the Red Sea. 3 to 4 major cables cut at once, most likely by the anchor of a sinking cargo ship that had been hit in the Houthi conflict. Around 25% of all the data moving between Europe and Asia went down in one shot. Full repairs took nearly 6 months, partly because a repair ship needs permission to even enter a war zone. Then the Baltic Sea lit up. Since 2022, roughly 10 cables there have been damaged, 7 of them in a single stretch over the winter of 2024 into 2025. On Christmas Day 2024, a tanker called the Eagle S dragged its anchor around 62 miles across the seabed, tearing through a power cable and 3 telecom cables on the way. By January 2025, NATO had seen enough and launched a naval mission, Baltic Sentry, just to patrol the cables. Read that again. We now need warships to guard the internet's plumbing, and the fix for the deeper problem, the fleet that's too old